Hey everybody, Travis Watkins, tax attorney, coming at you here live this morning to talk about IRS rolling out a facial recognition software through a third party that is soon going to be required for taxpayers to do certain things to obtain private information on their accounts and to obtain IRS transcripts. So if you have a tax problem, or even if you don't, this is going to be some vital information for you. This just rolled out last week, and we'll kind of go through some of the highlights of the program. IRS transcripts, I've said many times on our podcasts and really anywhere that I can, that IRS transcripts are really the secret weapon when it comes to solving an IRS problem. These are very powerful bits of information. It's the way that the IRS runs all of its collection matters. It is a receptacle, really, of everything that the IRS keeps on individuals and companies when it comes to taxes owed and tax returns filed, all those vital things. So this will have a direct effect on that. And I would say, there's never been a time where IRS transcripts could be more important to a taxpayer. Chuck Rettig, the commissioner for the IRS, has already indicated very recently that the IRS just isn't plain answering its phone right now. They are too understaffed. They are facing all kinds of understaffing and attrition type issues, just like a lot of companies are at this point. Rettig also said, given this problem, your best bet as a taxpayer on many different programs that the IRS has is to go yourself to irs.gov and get your transcripts, get the information that the IRS has on you, so that you can do certain things. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Let me kind of take a segue here to give you some of the salient points, I guess, of the program, the facial recognition program. It's through a company, third party, called ID.me, and they are not a new company. They've been doing government facial recognition things for at least a decade. As it relates to the IRS, what you're going to need facial recognition for in the very near future, they're rolling it out kind of like it's a beta type plan right now, but come this summer, there are certain things that you're going to have this ID.me program in order to access, and that includes child tax care credit, the Get Identity Protection PIN program, or IP PIN, if you are a victim of identity theft, for instance. Online payment agreements will need to be done at certain levels through irs.gov, and that requires the ID.me facial recognition. And of course, as I mentioned before, getting transcripts online will soon be a thing for a taxpayer to get their own transcripts, which you are 100% entitled to as a taxpayer, as well as online account information that you would access as a taxpayer through irs.gov. Going to require facial recognition there as well. Here's kind of what they're saying about the program right now. I got this off of Axios. That's axios.com. It just came out. An author here, Ina Fried. She mentions that the announcement signals one of the largest expansions of facial recognition technology in the U.S., and there's no question it will harm people's privacy. That's a quote from Caitlin Seeley George, campaign director at Fight for the Future. ID.me's terms of services, she notes, gives the company the right to share people's data with police, government, and select partners, whatever that means. I mean, this thing is coming in, I would add, under the guise of giving us more protection of our privacy, fewer data breaches, and boy, do they have data breaches at the IRS. They are looking at over 1 billion data breaches at the IRS every year. That doesn't mean each taxpayer, but we're talking about multiple sometimes data breaches for in different places at the IRS. From hackers or whatnot getting in and stealing usually tax return information so that they can file returns and, of course, seek refunds. Critics of this facial recognition feature through ID.me see some red flags, of course, and here's some of them. When ID.me was rolled out for state unemployment benefits, we heard from many people who had issues with the system. Not only is it an issue that ID.me misidentifies people of color, gender nonconforming people, and women, but this system requires people to have a smartphone or a web camera in order to submit photos, which means economically disadvantaged and older people are going to have greater challenges getting through the system. ID.me says its research found no disparity based on skin color. I would add to that many of our clients at Travis Watkins Tax that are facing IRS problems, we have a very large percentage of those people that are over 55. And I don't want to make super broad generalizations, but those over 55 tend to be less technically savvy, in my opinion. And they also happen to have bigger issues when it comes to tax resolution things. So to say that this would have no impact on the troubled taxpayer, it just wouldn't be correct. Here's another thing. This basically is putting a private company between people and the government services they need, says Jay Stanley, a senior policy analyst with the ACLU, noting the equity issues involved in requiring people who may have limited technology access and knowledge to go online. That's what I just said. They're forced to use this company if they want to access services to which they're entitled. There have been some blogs online with different journalists and others trying to enroll in ID.me. The general consensus has been that it takes a long time, maybe 3.5 to 4 hours to set this up, as well as having some amount of technical skill and plenty of patience. Don't worry, they said you don't need the software to file. So you don't need the software to file your returns, I would say, yet. They have to battle all this understaffing, all these government programs that the IRS now has to administer. They can't keep up. So this is one of the ways that they will try to cut some of that human interaction that has, in my opinion, been lacking since well before the pandemic. Transcripts were already, getting more and more challenging for an individual taxpayer to pull on their own. It's a fact. There's never been a more important time for taxpayers to sign up for some type of an IRS monitoring service, and we have that type of IRS monitoring service right here at Travis Watkins Tax. What it allows you to do is, once we get a 8821, that's something a little short of a power of attorney, doesn't give us access or rights to actually represent you at that level. It just allows us to pull the transcripts for you, to report to you what's going on in there, and also to monitor moving forward what is going on in the way of any changes to your IRS accounts. Not only can it look into the future, it also can look backwards up to about 10 years and see, if there's any outstanding issues that arose in years past. Those things are unfiled returns. They are various notices of IRS collection activity, including the right to levy, your rights to an appeal hearing, your rights to stop certain collection actions from happening even before they happen. And so IRS monitoring, I don't see that being anything less than an essential part of a taxpayer's arsenal, especially if you think or know that you owe the IRS something and IRS collections are involved. However, this is good for really just about any taxpayer in America, given this environment that we're talking about here. You can get access to IRS monitoring, very low monthly cost there. Go on traviswatkins.com. At the very top left corner, you'll see IRS monitoring services, and real easy to sign up and get some protection, some peace of mind on these types of things right away. If you have other questions, don't hesitate to give us a call, 844-958-1178. Thanks for listening, and we wish you best of luck here, all right? Thanks.